Deport Elon. Will this become a movement? President Donald Trump's fight with Elon Musk got messy today, messier. Steve Bannon now jumping in, telling the New York Times that he is telling the president to kick Musk out of the country. Here's what Bannon said in his interview. They should initiate a formal investigation of his immigration status because I am of the strong belief that he is an illegal alien and he should be deported from the country immediately. Bannon said Trump administration should also investigate Musk's drug use, his effort to get classified briefing on China from the Pentagon. So now it's turned into, it appears, weaponize everything, okay? And other people jumping in. There's people inside the administration, obviously, who didn't like Elon Musk just walking around doing whatever he wanted in the West Wing. So here you go. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so Steve Bannon has always hated Elon Musk. We've been tracking this fight all along, even as other shows on the left were claiming that there are no fights. And that the MAGA cult would never break, and they were all going to support Donald Trump no matter what. And I'm like, guys, Steve Bannon is like in a full-out war with Elon Musk. So obviously there's disagreements, as we've talked about before. Tucker Carlson, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro in a huge fight. There's fights all over MAGA, and so in this case, Bannon is claiming to be on the populist side and saying, I don't want to give away more stuff and goodies to Elon Musk. There was a moment when Elon Musk came in and demanded the private information of a lot of US taxpayers and citizens in different departments as he was running Doge. And I thought that was dangerous and totally unnecessary and gratuitous, and I'm still worried about that. I don't know what he did with that. So some of Steve Bannon's concerns about Elon Musk are justified. As usual, though, he then goes full mental and goes, okay, let's deport him right away. Well, brother, is he a citizen or isn't he? If he's a citizen, what do you mean you're gonna deport him? There's no such thing. Like Steve Bannon, when he talks about, hey, maybe we should raise taxes on the rich. Okay, that's an actual populist position, right? When he says, hey, maybe we shouldn't give government subsidies to companies. I'm all in for that. Okay, I agree with that. Some on the left will all say, no, don't agree with anything. But guys, when they come to us and agree with our positions, take yes for an answer, right? So agree with Bannon on that. But the ugly side of his populism is, who cares about the Constitution? Who cares about who's a citizen, who isn't a citizen, what your rights are? Just take away people's rights. Oh, Elon's a citizen? Who cares? Deport him anyway. No, don't deport him anyway. That makes no sense. Look, you could fight Elon politically as we do and not do weirdo unconstitutional things. Not that hard a balancing act, if you ask me.
Yeah. Well, look, about 20 minutes or so ago, Elon Musk just wants to make it clear. He's reposted something on X, reminding people who started it. And that's very important for you to understand that he did not criticize Trump personally first. He says Trump started it, or at least he's retweeting those sentiments sometime before that. Donald Trump really saying that I don't mind Elon turning against me in his most recent Truth Social post. So where this ends, heck, I don't know. I really don't know. And do you have a thought about where it ends? Or is there anybody that you can think of, Cenk, who can bring these two to some kind of negotiated settlement here to just stop doing damage to one another, including in the stock market?
Yeah, well, if they both lose enough money in the stock market and in their, in Trump's case, in his junk meme coin and all of his other junk companies, Elon at least runs real companies. But if they both lose enough money, maybe they do a fake kumbaya, right? Oh, we are so happy and friends together again. We will pass the bill and we will all get tax cuts and be happy. Besides which, the average American is going to have to pay for that debt later. So that's not impossible. In fact, I think that bill will pass. I think it will create trillions in further deficits and debt, and they will all get their tax cuts so that they'll begin to move on past that. I can't imagine that they have this level of animosity for 3.5 years. Look, I'm always a little wary of giving free advice here to the other side, but if Trump wanted to win on this count, What he would really lean into is, well, you saw my biggest donor and how I didn't give him what he wanted, and make that a point of pride. Now, what would be awesome is if he also refused Israel's orders, made a deal with a peace deal with Iran, and demanded a ceasefire in Gaza and get to a two-state solution. You do that and you go, now Miriam Adelson was my other biggest donor and I justified her. That would be a winning strategy, right? That would tilt everything towards Trump. I don't know if they're savvy enough to do that, and I don't know that they're honest enough to do that. So when it comes to Elon, how much influence is he gonna have? Don't think that it's not going to be any. He still has a giant amount of money that he could either give or not give to Republican senators and House members. And if you think the Republican congressman won't dance for money, you haven't been to a strip club in DC recently. On K Street, they go into the lobbyist offices and they got their pasties on, they got their fishnets on. That's what they do for a living. So will they dance for Elon? If he jingles a little bit of cash in front of them, yeah, he'll split half the Republican Party into dancing for him.
What if he then splits some of the other side? They'll dance too for money.
Well, then that becomes a real problem,
right?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's not like, I mean, look here, at this point, some things get toxic enough that the Democrats go, okay, I guess we won't take money from them. Like the NRA got to that point, and Democrats, after taking decades of taking money from the NRA, finally chose not to. Will they take money from Elon? You never know. So it's interesting. Look, I always say, act based on policy, not based on personalities or tribes. So I don't care which party or which movement or which person is in favor of ending corporate subsidies. I agree, and I'll take yes for an answer, right? So that puts me on Bannon's side. And then the other point of view on the left is no, don't ever agree with any of them because it empowers them or it enables them. I wish we had that kind of power. We don't. They're going to do whatever they're going to do anyway. They're currently in charge, we're not. So that's just the reality. But having said that, I don't want anybody to confuse what I'm saying in agreeing with Steve Bannon as empowering him 1%. Because if you say there's a giant difference between saying he's right about that specific issue and he's right overall. He is not right overall. Neither is Elon, neither is Trump, okay? But Bannon is a dangerous dude that would take away your rights in a second. So even though he is more correct on some of the economically populist issues, he is so dangerously wrong on constitutional issues that you could take yes for an answer on a specific issue, but don't ever think, oh yeah, Bannon, I bet we could trust him. No way. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.